Right, we're at Bury Pomeroy, everyone, and this is the infamous meal house, which is below the castle in the Gatacombe Brook Valley. What you're looking at here is the low wall where the spirit of the gypsy girl has been seen. Sits on this wall here, and with her feet firmly pressed against the wall, dressed in old rags, black sort of spiky unkempt hair. Many visitors that have been here have actually seen her sitting on this wall and staring at them with great hostility, but dressed in old brown rags, like old rags that she uses as a dress, with holes cut out for the arms, and also a piece of string wrapped around her waist. But she stares at people with great hostility, and as it turns out, she used to be a servant girl working at the mill house back in the 16th century, and she had it sort of really hard because she was basically a slave, but she wasn't really treated that well. So basically, it was basically, very, very difficult circumstances for her because of the way that people were treated back in those days as a slave. She worked her socks off for pittance, basically. But she, even though that they looked after her as far as food and drink, they did look after her in that way. But unfortunately, it was the work was quite, it was hard labour basically, and working for pretty much nothing really. So yeah, she's been seen along this wall here. So people that have visited the mill house will walk up the driveway, because along here is a right of way, and obviously if you go a bit further up, you've got the stables and you've got the field. So basically she's been seen over here, so just along there. Psychic mediums that have come down here have actually communicated with her, and they've actually sort of basically obviously connecting with her, and she's obviously told them that she did actually work here, because they actually did ask her if she worked here, and she did. But it was very, very hard labour back in those days, and she did. She wasn't treated very nice in a lot of ways, but she still loves being here. It wasn't all sort of negative, but she did experience quite a bit of sorrow here. But she's not definitely not a sad spirit. But she does. Obviously, if you can imagine that you're from the 16th century, okay, and you're sitting on this wall and you're seeing people dressed in modern clothing, obviously, carrying smartphones, it's going to be a bit weird, isn't it? You're going to see people walking by dressed in modern clothing, modern technology, especially if you're walking and carrying a smartphone. Obviously smartphones didn't exist back in the 16th century, so I can understand why you would stay. I mean, it's like it's like going back to the 16th century for a time slip, isn't it? So if they see someone walking along here dressed in modern clothing, obviously carrying a smartphone, or they're going to wonder who you are. So that's probably the reason why she stares at them quite intensely. But that's just here, just along there.